Alright guys, hello, welcome back to week 3 of mobility. Simon kept on pestering me to get this done on Monday, and I said no, guys, give him a couple of days to get a ball. As they promised, we had a week and a bit now to get a mobility ball. Today's all going to be about exercises using this baby, alrighty? So, first thing we're going to do today is working our glutes, so our big butt muscles here. Now when these get really tight, it starts actually pulling on our hamstrings and it starts pulling on our lower back, and suddenly we're feeling tight or loaded up in these areas. So it's really important not just to kind of loosen up along our posterior chain, but it's actually going to help us as well when we do our deadlifts and when we do our squats. We're going to be able to activate and squeeze on these muscles a lot better if we can kind of relax them first. So we want to be able to snap them on when we can. So what I'm going to do is we're going to place this on one butt cheek, just on the fleshy part, and then the side that the ball is on, I'm going to bring that leg up and I'm going to cross it over my other leg. And then while I'm here, I can actually support my body weight if this is quite intense with my hands, or I can start relaxing my hands down a little bit and placing more body weight on. I'm just going to circle around that whole butt cheek, that glute med area, until I find a tight spot. And then I'm going to try and relax a bit more of my body weight onto that area until it starts to loosen up and it starts to kind of become ungunked. Alrighty, and we can even move all the way up to like high glute, so kind of just below your pelvis. You might find some tight areas there. And across to the side as well. So there's no wrong or right place to actually place this. It's all about experimentation and actually just exploring that whole area until we find a tight spot. So 2 minutes on that side, 2 minutes on the other side. That's 4 minutes for our glutes. Trust me, it's going to help with range of motion when we get into squats and deadlifts, and it's going to ease off all this tension on our hamstrings and our lower back as well. Alrighty, moving on. So we're going to use this ball now to try and put our shoulders into a nice position so we can get full range of motion overhead, so all of our joints are stacked on each other. And also to kind of prevent any kind of injuries, or sometimes we get kind of muscle impingement, or shoulder impingement, I should say, right here. The reason why that quite often is that ball and socket of our shoulder joint is not moving as freely as it should be, and something's actually kind of impinging, whether it be tendons or ligaments, and we just try and want to reset it. So this first move that we're going to do is, I'm going to get this ball, I'm going to place it between my shoulder blade and my spine. So there'll be a nice fleshy bit just between those two areas. And I'm going to lay on the floor. I'm finding that area, so it's never on the spine, just between the shoulder blade and the spine. Once I've located that area, I'm going to keep this arm straight, so the ball's on this side of my body. I'm going to keep my arm nice and straight, bend it overhead, and then I'm going to kind of arc it across towards my other hip. I'm going to do about 10 rotations of these, and then once I've done 10, I'm going to move the ball into a new place and then start again. Now quite often you feel a big knot there. That's what we want to kind of break up so we can reset into a good posture. 2 things to remember here. First one, I don't want to bend my elbow. So when I'm arcing my arm across my body, don't bend the elbow just to touch that hip. Just keep it straight, and if that's the end range, that's absolutely fine, coming up and coming down. Second thing we can think about here is, how do I make this more intense? So, if I bring my heels close to my butt, I can drive through my heels and lift my hips off the ground, and suddenly that's a lot more of my body weight being driven into that ball, so it's going to be a lot more effective. So it depends on how sensitive you are in that area. But once again, we're kind of exploring that space along our spine until we find an area that's tight that we can kind of free up a little bit, so it sets our shoulder blade in a nice neutral position. Alrighty, last thing that we're going to do, which is related to our shoulder joint as well, is our chest muscles. So these ones here, because we're so forward dominant in life, you know, whether we're on a bike or at a desk, we tend to start rolling these shoulders, or our chest muscles get tight. If they get tight, suddenly by default, our shoulders roll forward and it's not sitting in a neutral position. So what we need to do is kind of relax this chest muscle, and then our shoulders are just going to relax into a better position for us. So I'm going to get this ball, I'm going to place it just in that little valley, just where my shoulder is and where my chest is, right in that valley, kind of just above my armpit. And I'm going to drive that ball into that socket, and I'm going to do big kind of waves with my arm. Once again, my arm is nice and straight, coming all the way up to the top, coming all the way down to the bottom. If it feels grizzly, we can also scrub across that muscle to try and release that pec. Or we can turn our palm up to the sky, kind of give ourselves an arm lock, and then start driving that arm into the ball. So either of those methods work, the big arc with our arm, the scrub, or the arm lock as well. And we're gonna drive and kind of release that tight pec muscle, that tight check muscle. So, what do we got here? Easy, easy, easy. So 2 minutes, 2 minutes, that's 4 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, that's 8 minutes, and then just 1 minute, 1 minute, that's 10 minutes all up. So once again, it's 10 minutes a day. I know sometimes we don't think we have 10 minutes to spare in a day. We're rushed around from the beginning to the end of the day, and then we're in bed, and then we just like looking through our social media for 20 minutes until we feel tired and we pass out. Try to keep those 10 minutes away from social media. Try and use these mobility balls. It's going to improve ourselves, not just in the gym, once again, outside of the gym. It's going to avoid injury, and it's going to make us feel a lot better. 10 minutes a day using this ball. You're out. I'll see you next week.